Deep within the heart of Maine, where the ancient pines stand sentinel and the rivers run cold and clear, lies the Allagash Wilderness. It is a place of profound beauty, a vast expanse of untamed nature that whispers secrets to the wind. In August of 1976, 4 college friends sought solace and adventure in its depths. Jim Weiner, Jack Weiner, Chuck Rake, and Charlie Foltz were young, full of life, and eager for a classic camping trip. They paddled their canoes through the tranquil waters, their laughter echoing briefly before being swallowed by the immense silence. As dusk bled into night, they made camp by the river's edge. A crackling fire became their only beacon against the encroaching darkness. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. Above them, the stars began to emerge, countless pinpricks of light in a sky so black it felt like a velvet shroud. The stillness was absolute, a quiet that pressed in on them, deeper than any city night. It was the kind of quiet that makes you feel utterly alone, yet strangely watched. They shared stories, roasted marshmallows, and felt the primal comfort of the flames. But the wilderness held more than just peace that night. It held an encounter that would shatter their understanding of reality and haunt their waking lives for decades to come. The Allagash was about to reveal a secret far older and stranger than any campfire tale. As the hours deepened, a peculiar light appeared in the sky. It was unlike anything they had ever witnessed, a silent, brilliant orb that defied all earthly explanation. Their initial thoughts drifted to a distant plane or perhaps a helicopter, but the object moved with an unnatural grace. It pulsed with an inner light, shifting through an eerie spectrum of red, white, and blue. The colors bled into one another, creating a hypnotic, unsettling display against the black canvas of the night. It danced erratically, then descended slowly, deliberately, towards the lake. Curiosity, a dangerous companion in the wild, began to stir within them. The object hovered silently above the water, its presence a stark contrast to the natural world around them. It was too low for a plane, too quiet for any known craft. Driven by an inexplicable urge, they decided to investigate. Jim and Jack climbed into one canoe, Chuck and Charlie into another. They paddled cautiously, their strokes barely disturbing the glassy surface of the lake. The light grew brighter with every silent dip of their paddles. As they drew closer, an ethereal glow began to emanate from beneath their canoe. The water itself seemed to come alive, shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. Then, without warning, a blinding beam of light erupted from the hovering craft. It was a pure, intense white, striking their canoe directly. The world dissolved into an overwhelming flash, a searing brilliance that consumed everything. The last thing they remembered was that unbearable light. Then, nothing. An abrupt, terrifying void. Darkness. They awoke disoriented, adrift in their canoe, the light gone. The fire they had built hours earlier was now nothing more than smoldering embers, almost out. The stars had shifted, indicating that hours had vanished, stolen from their lives. A profound sense of unease settled over them, a chilling certainty that something terrible had happened. They paddled back to shore in a stunned silence, the camaraderie of earlier replaced by a shared, unspoken dread. The journey home was equally quiet, each man lost in his own terrifying thoughts. The experience, however, refused to remain buried. Soon, the nightmares began. They were vivid, relentless, and deeply disturbing. Sleep offered no escape, only a descent into a recurring terror. The dreams were always the same: bright, sterile rooms, cold metal tables, and the unsettling sensation of being touched by cold, slender hands. They would wake in a cold sweat. The images burned into their minds, the fear, a tangible presence. Years passed, but the torment persisted. The nightmares grew more intense, the memories more insistent. Finally, seeking answers and relief from their psychological anguish, they decided to undergo regressive hypnosis. Separately, each man recounted his experience. Under hypnosis, the fragmented memories coalesced into a horrifying narrative. They described tall, grey beings with impossibly large, black, almond-shaped eyes. These entities moved with an unnerving grace, their presence radiating an alien coldness. Communication was not through words, but through a direct, telepathic intrusion into their minds. Thoughts, feelings, and commands were simply there, without sound or language. It was an invasion of the most intimate kind. They recalled being subjected to various experiments. Samples were taken, blood, skin, even what felt like their very thoughts. The procedures were invasive, clinical, and utterly devoid of empathy. They were specimens, not individuals. Remarkably, each man's account, given independently, mirrored the other's with chilling precision. The same light, the same sterile room, the same terrifying faces of their captors. The consistency was undeniable, a testament to a shared traumatic reality. Despite the chilling consistency of their testimonies, the Allagash abduction accounts were met with skepticism. Many dismissed their stories as imagination, mass hysteria, or a collective delusion fueled by the trauma of a strange light. The scientific community, as expected, offered no easy answers. Yet the men never sought fame or fortune from their ordeal. Their only desire was relief from the torment, an understanding of what had happened to them. They were ordinary individuals, thrust into an extraordinary and terrifying situation. Their sincerity was palpable, their suffering undeniable. Among UFO researchers and investigators, the Allagash case quickly gained a reputation. It is considered one of the most credible and well-documented abduction stories in history. The multiple, consistent testimonies under hypnosis lent it a weight that many other accounts lacked. Even today, the Allagash Wilderness carries the weight of that night. Locals still speak in hushed tones of strange lights seen dancing over the lake, particularly on clear moonlit nights. The stories persist, woven into the fabric of the region. Hikers venturing into the deeper parts of the wilderness often report an unsettling feeling, a sense of being watched, of not being alone, even when no one else is in sight. The ancient trees seem to hold their breath, and the silence feels heavy with unseen eyes. More recently, whispers have emerged of unusual readings detected in the area by satellites, anomalous energy signatures, inexplicable magnetic fluctuations, all pointing to something out of the ordinary, something that defies conventional explanation. The wilderness, it seems, continues to guard its secrets, but not perfectly. The Allagash Wilderness, once a haven for campers, has changed. No one camps overnight by the river where the four friends had their encounter. The forest, once alive with the sounds of nature, now feels too quiet, too watchful. An unspoken dread hangs in the air, a palpable warning. The legend of the Allagash abduction has become a chilling campfire story in itself, whispered around flickering flames, far from the haunted lake. It serves as a stark reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, only endured. They say that under a full moon, when the veil between worlds is thinnest, the light returns. It hovers silently above the dark waters, pulsating with those same eerie colors, red, white, and blue. A beacon of the unknown, a silent invitation. But heed this warning. If you ever find yourself in the Allagash and you see that light, do not approach. Do not stare too long. For if you do, the beam will find you, freezing you in its blinding embrace. And when you awaken, hours will be gone. Just like the Allagash 4, you will carry the weight of what happened, a silent terror that will haunt your dreams forever. The wilderness keeps its secrets, and sometimes it takes a piece of you to keep them.